Hey, Fred.
Hello.
Jesse Moore, Pickett Street Properties.
I'm Fred Boskus with Pickett Street Properties.
And we're going to go through some banks today. It's 2013. We would hope that most banks would have figured out short sales by now. Sadly, what we've encountered is there's a few banks that still have resistance, even though we've given them all the documentation they've requested. And so this is our plea, our story about U.S. Bank.
Yeah, we have a client who has a home equity loan with U.S. Bank, and we've been trying to work with them for quite a while on getting a short sale approved.
Right. So what we have, they have a first loan with FHA, and so HUD has approved the sale, the short sale,
right,
at the terms that we have in writing. U.S. Bank, we've actually gotten to them twice, and it's been declined twice. over months each
right.
time, basically stating that the ratios don't work, and that basically from a monetary value, the homeowner should be able to afford the home.
Right.
Which I think is funny to me, because if you look at the history of this, they're not making their payments. They're in a situation where they're not able to make their payments. They're not
right.
making their payments. But I just like how U.S. Bank's policy is going to be, well, they should be able to, so we're not going to be able to do anything for them. Which is just... Let's look at reality. They're not making their payments. This loan is no good to you. How do we remedy that?
Right.
And so what has been offered to U.S. Bank? At what point? I mean, are the sellers saying that they're not going to contribute anything to U.S. Bank?
No, they're willing to contribute quite a lot prior to closing.
Right. And U.S. Bank's stance is what?
U.S. Bank's stance is that they strictly look at the percentage of payments for both mortgages compared to their gross income.
So it's not even a matter of how much they're settling for, it's just a matter of the affordability of the loan?
Right.
So U.S. Bank, we have a client who's offering you money to settle this and be done, and to take this non-performing loan out of your books and move on, right? Or you can just use your formula and adhere to your formula and still not get paid on that loan and continue to have a loan that's in default for the undetermined future.
And it's a formula that doesn't really make sense, because you're looking at one small aspect of a family's financial picture. It doesn't take into account whether or not there are serious medical bills, what other kind of debt they may be having to deal with, or if there's alimony or child support,
or if repairs need to be made to the home that are costly, which is the case on this home. So U.S. Bank, I mean, here's the point here, and I'm not trying to be, I'm going to be clear. I'm not slandering U.S. Bank. I'm telling you, I do want to relate our experience with U.S. Bank.
Right.
It's gotten to the point that I'm referring people not to bank with them, in the sense that this is here's an opportunity. We have lots of banks. We have a history of working with a lot of different banks, and I can see with our track record, I can see banks that understand and work with us, right, cooperatively and everything else, and that treat their members well and with respect,
right, and
realizing that no one planned for this to happen. No one hoped that this would happen. Everyone takes a loan out in the hopes that they can repay it. But what happened to our real estate market really was not in control of any of our clients or any of their members. And so what's happened is it's put a lot of people in a bad situation. And thankfully, many banks have been pretty great about working with. U.S. Bank historically has been difficult, and in this case specifically, applying such a rigid formula to our clients' lives isn't working. It's not being productive.
Right.
And it's not helping them either, because they have an opportunity here to mitigate loss and to get this file off their books and to move on. But U.S. Bank's policy of just saying, having their head stuck in the sand saying, well, this doesn't fit this guideline, so therefore it doesn't work. I'm sorry, that doesn't work for us. So take a look at your policies and your guidelines and your short sale program, and maybe you could see that there's opportunities there to avoid loss. And here's a case specifically where we have approval from the first, we have you getting money from the first, we have you getting money from the seller in addition to that. And you're saying, no, we're not going to accept your money because you should be able to afford the home. Well, obviously, whoever's making that decision isn't looking at the whole picture. So, U.S. Bank, take a look at the whole picture. You know,
Please.
let's review this and see what we can do. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.